Today's critter uncaged loves to fly high in the sky when not serving as an ambassador at the U of I Wildlife Medical Clinic.
Look at that beauty shot right there. Joining us, Cynthia Tejas, manager, and Alexis Davidson, ambassador coordinator there at the University of Illinois Wildlife Medical Clinic with Ruby, a red-tailed hawk. We're excited both of you all and Ruby could join us today. Tell us about Ruby, your ambassador.
Yeah, of course. So this is Ruby. She came into the Wildlife Clinic in 2018, and she actually came in because she had been walking up to people for food, which told us that she was habituated to people, which is obviously not ideal and not safe for both the human and for her as well.
Okay, hold up.
If that bird walked up to you looking for food, what are you going to do?
Well, I would not feed it, number one, but how does a bird become habituated, like a wild bird like that?
So we obviously don't know her story. Likely she interacted with humans at some point in her past and just became comfortable with them. So we can't really know for sure how it happened, but that's
Is it common?
Not too common. That's why you always want to bring them to certified rehabbers, because that is part of like the training that goes on. Is anytime wildlife is brought into a rehab situation, we try to make sure that they aren't habituated to people when they're released.
She looks like she's looking right at her, like I'm listening intently to
well,
the conversation.
She probably is.
Yes.
Cynthia, perhaps a good listener is what makes a good ambassador.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Are there other things that when animals come through and you know you're going to be taking some out and about to different places that you're like, this will make a good ambassador for our program?
Yeah, so obviously we want them to be friendly and not super aggressive, but Ruby is just such a smart bird that she picks up on her training so well that she was an amazing addition to our ambassador program, because her and the ambassador coordinators and our volunteers have formed such a great relationship that that's what makes a great ambassador.
She's been very well behaved so far.
So far. And you've got such a great space there for your ambassador animals. And I know people can come and observe them and check them all out. But what about in the wintertime? Are they out or...
So we do have certain temperature guidelines for them. They do have all of these feathers, so they obviously are able to be out a little bit longer than like us without a coat would be out. But we do have guidelines when it gets too cold. They have an indoor space in the amazing building that was built for them with their residence has an indoor space and then the outdoor space. Okay. And so the indoor space is heated for when it gets too cold.
How tired is your arm right now?
Oh, well, I'm kind of cheating and putting my hand on my knee because definitely I need to work out a little bit more.
I was noticing on Facebook when I saw that you all were coming, there are different colored tails hawks, right? Because Ruby's a red-tailed hawk, but I noticed on Facebook you had a different variety of hawk.
Yes, so she's a red-tailed hawk, and even within red-tailed hawks, they have different colored reds. So she's kind of more of a dark red. Our other red-tailed that we have in the program is Odin, and he has more of like a bright reddish color. But there's also things like red-shouldered hawks that have red on their shoulders, very nicely named.
Okay.
And so there's kind of different varieties like that.
Interesting.
I understand you two are moving on to the next phase of your program here soon.
Yes.
What are you studying to do and ultimately become?
Yeah, so I would like to pursue a career in zoo and wildlife medicine. I feel like, honestly, once you work with them, they really steal your heart. So,
Did you get to work with the tigers when they did that? I think it was in Indiana, or it was not too long ago. They did something teeth cleaning. They did like teeth cleaning or something like that. I remember them talking about that.
No, unfortunately, I was not part of that, but we've had so many really cool opportunities, like having a bobcat come through the clinic or a snowy owl. So we really do get a variety.
Very cool.
She was telling us earlier she fell in love with a possum, so if she can fall in love with a possum, she can fall in love with anything. And what about you?
Very similar. I also want to do a zoo or wildlife. I'm definitely leaning potentially more towards wildlife and wildlife population, but still seeing the options.
You're doing very well so far. So thank you, ladies, for being here, all three of you.
Best of luck in your future. We'll connect you with everything happening at the University of Illinois Wildlife Medical Clinic at CILiving.tv.